Senator Grassley's Brian Sullivan, I did the interview. I asked her just that question. I said, what's this rebate? Why not just cut the price?
Yeah.
And her answer, and I don't want to speak for her. I'm trying to, it was early, it was a couple hours ago, but it seemed to be basically because of all the people in the middle, that if she cuts the price, that they may not, and the consumer wouldn't get as much of a benefit from the price cut as they might from this rebate.
Well, there are.
You can agree or disagree. That was her
pharmaceutical
rationale. That was the rationale.
Okay. Well, there is one need that I would agree, whether Mylan raises it or anybody else raises it. Most often it's raised by the small town pharmacists that we have, but the pharmacy benefit managers have a great deal of secrecy in how they price things and how they make deals and contracts with end users. And I think that there ought to be more transparency on the benefit managers, as well as we're asking for transparency right now on the part of Mylan.
Which was what one of the other things Ms. Bresch said. She wanted more transparency in the process throughout.
Well,
invariably,
sure,
so I mean, she basically agrees with you on that. Invariably, Senator, when we talk about drugs and drug pricing, the issue of the ability of government programs, whether it's Medicaid, which you mentioned, Medicare, or the Children's Health Insurance Program, to negotiate prices with pharmaceutical companies comes up. Would that help in this case? Would it help broadly? Where do you stand on that idea?
Well, I think it's one way to look at a company that has monopoly. There might be some reason for the government to step in. I'd rather have the marketplace work, but if you only got one person producing it, then that creates problems that maybe the government ought to look at. But if you look at the way that you just suggested, or other people are suggesting it should be done by having the government negotiate, that's the way the VA does it. You can drive down prices, but you don't. The government doesn't negotiate. Government dictates. And when government dictates, in the case of the Veterans Administration, they end up with about a third of the formulary that you have in Part D Medicare, where the marketplace works and where you have a lot of competition, and the competition itself has brought down the price of drugs tremendously.
Senator Grassley, how far do you go with Mylan? And I asked you this because EpiPen has really sort of touched a nerve in this country because it's often used by children, found in classrooms, et cetera. But Mylan actually has a list of other drugs that have gone up 400, 500% in the first 6 months of the year, this according to Wells Fargo. Do you go down the list of their product portfolios and say, this one also? Add to the list this one. How about this one, this drug for irritable bowel syndrome? I mean, how far do you go with this company or even others that have raised their prices in commensurate percentages?
Well, I've been involved in negotiations on drugs that cost $90,000 a year for some people that have hepatitis C, as an example. We find out that when you bring public attention to it, as we brought public attention to Mylan now, and they have a very bad public relations problem, and they're immediately trying to solve it by getting the CEO out there or getting these gift certificates out there to kind of quiet people down. Transparency brings accountability, and right now I'm going to tackle this one drug at a time because I think that the extent to which we can bring governmental pressure indirectly through the bad public relations of some of this pricing and the decisions that go into the pricing, like in the hepatitis C instance I talked about. I think that that's a better approach.
But it sounds like
so many people in Congress would say government regulation. I don't like very much government regulation.
It sounds like you're saying that you're satisfied, though, with jawboning, so that there are individual cases such as Gilead and the Hep C treatment, such as Turing, such as this one, where a bright light is shined by Congress and others and the media, et cetera, and they are jawboned into lowering their prices, and then it seems like the spotlight goes away. Is that what's going to happen this time?
No, I'm talking about one instance that came up here that's unjustifiable, that we're looking into, and we hope we can accomplish some good by getting reasonable pricing. But you're bringing up a very legitimate question that's much broader, and I think that has to be brought up in the context of general health care reform.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the eye right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.